Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Um, I am indeed live from both channels today, and the reason I'm live from both channels today is because I got to talk about the incident that unfortunately happened in Chicago. I can't, I can't help but to be angry, pissed off, etc., etc. Um, this person here is called Talk About It with for More, and she got the same question that I have. Well, not same question, but same statement. Chicago, we need answers. Let's get it. Let me turn this up.
In the darkest moments, when storms threaten everything, one light can change everything.
Look, welcome up there. Is this it? Hey, y'all. That's my welcome, honey. That is my welcome, honey. Yes. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Y'all come on up in here. Come on up in here. Come on up in here. We got to have a conversation. Mothers, fathers, parents, everybody. Get in here. Get in here. We got to have a conversation. Shit, yes, we can hear you. Okay, thank you, Sandra. Appreciate y'all. Y'all come on up in here, cause baby. Thanks to the person that sent me this story, but we're gonna have a conversation. First of all, before we get into it, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? She said they've been cutting up all day in Chicago over this, baby.
And they need
I had
to.
about 4 or 5 of y'all send me this, and I became outraged every time I opened it up and watched it. I mean, just sitting up in my bed, blood boiling, just blood boiling. Okay, just
You ain't the only
outraged.
one, sister.
Like, oh my goodness, if you a parent, this story I'm about to tell y'all about, who does not know what we about to talk about? She said, Amor, you sound so much better tonight. Thank you, Meg. I feel better. Now, I ain't going to say I'm 100%, but I do feel better and better each day. Especially now that I know, like, what's really going on, you know what I'm saying? And it's been treated properly. I just feel better. I couldn't eat that lasagna, though, that my husband made, so I was mad about that. But other than that, but thank you, Meg. Y'all come on up in here. Y'all come on up in here. She said, every time I see it, I get pissed off. Yes, Sipping Lab was one of the ones that sent it to me, and Drop Off, and a few of y'all sent it to me. So I appreciate y'all sending
Shit,
it
I
out
was
the
mad
first
as hell
thing. Y'all
seeing this
already know,
bullshit
baby,
too.
I love my children. I love my grandkids. And baby, honey, I spent a weekend without my blanket and my pillow over my kids. You hear me? I will. But I gotta tell y'all what's going on because I'm pretty sure some of y'all are just getting off work and have not had a chance to get around social media. I'm gonna wait for a few more people to come in before I get into this story. Okay. She said Miss B sent it to me to get to you. Okay, thank you, Miss B. I appreciate that. Yeah, you from Chicago, baby, honey. We may have to come and do a march in Chicago. What is really going on, girl? But thank you, Miss B, for sending that to Drop Off, and Drop Off sent it to me, and a few other people have sent it to me. She said, I haven't heard all the details. Okay, I'll go over the details with you guys. But I want y'all to come on up in here first. Hit that thumbs up button for your girl. Hit that thumbs up button for your girl. Please, and thank you. And y'all share this live. We got to get it popping. And you know what? I am going to drop the link after I go over the details of the case, just in case y'all want to come up and just express your concerns about it. But I do want to go ahead and give you guys the details of it. Because, baby, it is crazy. All right? She said, greetings and more loud talkers. She said, this is wild. It is. Thank you, Rita. She said, I'm glad
No,
that
it's
you're talking
beyond
about this.
wild.
Yes, baby. Yes. Thank you so much. And thank you, LaCondas. Appreciate it. And Lady D. Thank y'all so much for sprinkling some love. She said, the more you see the D board BD is a suspect. That's a story for another day. Okay, K. Shine, we'll cover that another day. But no, I did not know he was a suspect. She said, I was hoping that you talked about this. Now I can hear facts and truth. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate it. Y'all come on up in here. We're going to talk about this thing, okay? So let me just tell y'all what we're talking about tonight. Y'all, this is my thumbnail, and it says Chicago, we need answers. Why
Damn
do
right,
we
we
need
need
answers?
answers.
Well, because a 33-year-old mother, okay, pregnant mother. Let's not forget that, because a lot of people are forgetting the fact that this young lady was pregnant. Okay?
Hold on.
A 33-year-old pregnant mama by the name.
Now, to be clear, they thought that the woman was pregnant. Good news is she wasn't pregnant. However, the bad news is she's a mother with sickle cell anemia, which, she was still, by medical definitions, a handicapped person. And these gremlins attacked this woman and her children. I'm like this here. Lock up the gremlins and lock up the parents. And that's how I feel about it. Let's continue.
Ooh, Lord, I'm about to jack her name up. Korshanda. I'm just gonna say Shonda because people be putting all these extra syllables on their children's name, but it's Shonda. Shonda Hater, Hatter, maybe Hatter, but Korshanda, okay? And her 9-year-old son that's seen right here in this picture, the cute little fella right here. They were walking near the 10600 block of South Bensley Avenue on the far south of Chicago. All right, she was picking her son up from school. They were attacked by a group of kids, teenage, middle-aged kids, at 3 p.m. yesterday, Monday, yesterday, all right? Now, we talking about middle-aged school kids attacked a whole mother and her son while she went and picked him up from school, right? And was walking him home. Oh yeah, Mookie. Mookie said, and her daughter was there too. Her daughter was there. Now, I do want to play the video. I want to play the version where they actually blurred it out because y'all know not Facebook, but YouTube be tripping sometimes. And I don't want them to put a disclaimer on my video. So let me just pick the one that the news covered. Hold on. All right, so I'm going to pick the one that the news covered because they blurred it out. I don't want you guys to see the whole thing on my page, and not that I don't, but you just have to be careful showing this type of graphics, okay? So I'm just gonna do the one that the news shared. She said they so adorable. I'm talking about so adorable, right? We're gonna talk about it in a minute, but y'all, let's look at this, all right? Let's look at this, and then we're gonna continue on, all right?
Near a Southside school. This happened yesterday afternoon near 106th and Bensley. That's right down the street from Orwell T. Bright Elementary School. Video shared tens of thousands of times on Facebook shows this attack, and you can see that woman being punched and eventually falling to the ground, and that's when the assault turns even more violent. We've frozen the video here because it's too graphic after this point. We've also blurred the faces of the people involved because they're minors and no charges have been filed. Police say that
They need to charge them, Grandma.
Serious condition. Word of the attack spread quickly on social media and led to a big crowd gathering outside the school this morning demanding answers and justice. We've reached out to CPS for comments on this.
Now listen, he said
Outside school.
he said she fell to the ground. I'm gonna have to correct him.
No, she was dragged.
She was drugged to the ground by middle-aged kids, okay? I'm talking middle-aged kids, you guys. Drugged to the ground and
kicked and stomped on.
punched on by middle-aged kids. Now,
Yep.
apparently, the little boy had been bullied at the school. These are her words. She said out of her mouth that her son had been bullied for over 2 years at this school, all right? So she went up there to walk her son home because she's like, most mothers, right? They're going to stand hard, stand firm for their children. So that's what she did. She was walking them home. They were following behind her and talking smack, right? She's pregnant. So she was trying to walk ahead of them like, go head on. I ain't trying to do nothing or whatever. We ain't trying to do nothing. Just go head on. She said she even crossed the street. Okay, we're going to hear from her as well. She said she crossed the street to get away from them, and they followed, okay? Hold on, let me pull the one up that I shared earlier. And let me pull this one up because I want y'all to see just her talking, not necessarily the video, but her talking. Let me get that right quick. They followed her, and then because she was basically taking up for her child, they ended up fighting her, punching her, right? And then pulled her to the ground, pulled her wig off, and all of that, right? Just beating her, stumping her. And then they even touched her son and started putting hands on her son, kicking her son.
Oh,
you know what
I
I'm saying?
got a
The son is
Bible.
9 years old. He was trying to protect Mama. Mama was trying to take him. Let me just see. And I want y'all to see the video that she was explaining what happened. Now, she does have sickle cell, and so she doesn't talk with like really clear voice like how I would. She said she's not pregnant. Oh, she's not? Oh, damn. She looked like it. Okay, my bad. She's not pregnant. All right, so, all right, well, my bad. You know, that's the misconception. You know, she did look pregnant, so I need to take that. Did I put pregnant in my? Okay, I didn't put it. But she looked pregnant a little bit, so she's not pregnant. Okay. But let me show you the little boy on here, on this one right here. I can show you some of these pictures. I don't want to show you much, but look at this picture right here. Now, if you can see this picture right here, can I zoom in a little bit? That's her son right there in the blue jacket. She's trying to basically protect him, right? She's covering his ears, she's covering him, you know.
Which y'all will see
saying,
on video.
Y'all see this little girl right here? The one with the beige pants on and the black jacket. She was the first one that threw the first punch. Okay? You see how she rearing back to hit on a whole grown adult?
No respect whatsoever.
So she kind of set the stage, right? She swung on her, and then a lot of the other kids came and started swinging on her as well. She got separated from her children, okay? They drug her down to the ground. They started stomping on her, pulling her hair, pulling off her wig, should I say, stomping on her. And then the son was no longer protected. So what happened? They go and knock him to the ground and start hitting on him as well. Again, he's 9 years old. All right? Now, the little girl was kind of off to the side crying by herself. But guess what? She had to sit here and watch her mom and her brother get taken down to the ground and beat on by a bunch of middle-aged students from Chicago, or that lives in Chicago, okay? Now, but what I will say, right, let's continue the story, but what I will say is Chicago got together and they said, we're not standing for this, baby. So they got together and they went down to the school, was there at 8 o'clock this morning, standing in the gaps. Because, baby, at this point, yeah, I'm sure they want, you know, they want something to happen to the kids. But you know who they really after? Baby, they want to talk to them parents.
Damn right.
They want to
Talk to them
you
parents.
gotta understand, this type of stuff just don't start at school. This type of stuff just don't start with
Sure
children.
don't.
All right? So let's continue. Both of the victims, the mom and the son, were taken to the hospital, and the mother was actually injured. Okay, she was already suffering from sickle cell, right? She had posted something saying that, hey, I've been sick for the last 5 weeks, because when you have those sickle cell, I'm not sure exactly what you call it, but they have, like, I wouldn't say episodes, but just I don't know what you call it, but like every now and again they take ill, you know, and they have to recover. But she says, been sick 5 weeks, no appetite. I tried to make myself eat, it's not working. Been to the hospital 3 times. Hemoglobin was at 2.
Hemoglobin.
At 2. Doctor said how I'm still living. Ask God, it's not my time yet. Okay? Okay, she said it's called sickle cell crisis. Okay. So she was already dealing with a sickle cell crisis and said that she's been sick for 5 weeks. Now, you know when you ill like that or whatever, you don't have no strength. You understand what I'm saying? But she did everything she could to protect her children. And they got the best of her, okay? They got the best of her and took her down to the ground. Son crying, she crying, daughter crying, right? But Chicago did step out and step up for the family. She did speak at the school. It got so bad that the police and the news people and everybody had to come out to the school because when I tell you Chicago stepped, they stepped. Let me show you what I'm talking about. When I tell you they stepped, they stepped. Now, of course, we're not going to play this whole video, but I just want to show you a little bit of them coming together as a community because they wasn't having it. All right, hold on one second. Did he take it down? Did he take it down? It looked like he may have taken it down. Let me just see because I seen it earlier. I've just been following one guy's page and it looked like he may have removed the video. Hold on.
Earn an online MBA recognized for real salary growth at Wake Forest.
Come on.
Well, so I seen it earlier. It looked like he may have removed the video because it was like a 2-hour video that he had up there. Hold on. Did he remove it? Well, let's hear her voice of what she say happened. Okay.
You know, I can get us some sizzle cheese daily. We do that every day, okay? We do that every day. I don't know what them. I guess they think 'cause they can't get no sizzle cheese or whatever. But, yeah. We was walking to the store. I was going to go get my kid. How was your son doing? He right up. He's great. He's sweet. He's sweet.
Let me just say, she said he's doing fine and he right here. I think she mean like injury-wise because, baby, this is traumatizing to this young fella. You hear me? You know, she said he's doing fine, but you can see the sadness in this young man's eyes. You understand what I'm saying? He may be doing good physically, right? Like no broken bones and things of that nature. But, baby, this young fella's spirit is broken, okay? Broken. This is traumatizing and it should be for any kid. You understand what I'm saying?
He was fat red a little bit, but that's because they hit him right there. My son is great and my daughter is great. It's me.
Same thing with the daughter. The daughter's traumatized as well. I feel like both of these young kids need some type of counseling and need to know that, you know, they shouldn't be afraid because, you know, this is traumatizing and I would understand why they would be afraid, you know, watching behind them and, you know, intimidated by kids their size. They should not have to have experienced that at all, okay?
Y'all, it's me. I'm the one that has to be in the hospital. I'm the one that has to be in the hospital. I told y'all on my story that I was sick for about a week. I still am. Still not. I'm still sick. I have sickle cell anemia. I was walking to go and get my kids from school. Okay. What the fuck they mama was there? Right, exactly what I said. Bruise them up, shaking my head. Yeah, it's like. Once, I know y'all seen the video. Did y'all see the video? When they started hitting on me, okay? They started hitting on me because I was trying to grab my motherfucking son. They hitting on me and dragging me down, pulling my wig off because I'm trying to get my motherfucking son. You think I'm gonna just stand? Wait, close the door. You think I'm gonna just stand here and let Watch out. Beat on my son? No, it's not happening. It's not happening. It is not happening. It is not happening. Sorry. They said I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna stand right there and let y'all beat on my son. I'm going to go ahead. Who? Not me, baby. Not me. Not me, because I ain't watching shit.
Now, that's her in the hospital. She's out now. You know, again, there is a video. You know, should I? I'll show. Let me just show it from the TikTok because it's a little bit bigger. I said I wasn't gonna show it. Maybe I'll just delete it out afterwards. But I want those that have not seen it to actually see it because it is horrible. And for those that haven't seen it, those that have not seen it, yeah, because you won't have the same outrage if you don't see it. Because baby, I think as a mother, okay, hold on. Okay, why is it not letting me share? Hold on. Give me a sec. Let me just figure out why it's not letting me share. Oh, give me a second. Alright, let's see if it'll work this time. Oh, okay. I don't know why it does that. Alright, let's watch it, y'all. Oh, Jesus. So already you can see they are walking all the way up there. That's mom, that's son, and the daughter with her. Now you got a mob of freaking young students, right? Young gangsters walking behind her, yelling and making noise and talking smack.
What? Shamar looking at. Shamar. Shamar.
Disrespectful little gremlins.
Look at their ankle foot. Shamar looking at.
So right there you see her with her daughter and then her son, right? She just, you know, she probably at this point probably just trying to let them pass or whatever. Yeah, they were very disrespectful.
Junior. Andrew.
So I think he just tried to, I think he just hit her son. That little boy hit her son and then kind of walked off a little bit. So now she's checking on her son like, are you okay? You know what I mean? Like, are you all right or whatever? And you see the daughter, she's kind of standing close to mama, right? So the son right here is already crying. He's already been hit. He's 9 years old. Again, he's 9. And so he's already crying, right? Now, right here.
No home training.
Let me see. Oh, okay, so they must have cut it off. Let me just get another video because I think they cut that one off right when the girl. Hold on, let's see if this one shows it. That girl right there. Well, let me see if you can see her. That one, she hit her first. Okay,
no
so
home training.
It looked like the stations have made them turn it off, so they're not showing the whole video. Hold on. Let me see if they show the whole video. Okay, so they stopping it, y'all. They're not playing the whole video. It looks like they're stopping it.
As they should.
Let's see if they show it on this one.
I'm not. Okay. They are pissed.
Okay, so I see what's happening. They're cutting it off because they don't want. I guess because it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Look at the little boy. But they're cutting the video off. But just know, when the girl swung on her, they drug her down to the ground, and then they just started kicking her and punching her and kicking her and
Yep.
punching her, and then they went over to the little boy and started doing some of the same things to the little boy. The little boy definitely shouldn't have had to see his mama in that condition. Let me see what's going on right here.
Kids are here. I just don't put shit on Facebook, like real shit that I go through every day in life. I don't post that on Facebook because people like to use that against you. So like I keep shit to myself. I don't even, I don't even got nobody to listen. I don't got friends. I don't trust nobody. I don't know what it is, what they want to do with my son, but my son is very friendly. Like he's not the type that likes to fight. He's not like, yeah, he right.
Yeah, I can tell by his demeanor he's not the fighting type.
I couldn't get it. I couldn't move my son at the moment because I had my daughter standing in front of me. If I move my daughter or move any other way, I don't know what these kids trying to do. I'm pregnant.
So this is what she said, she's not pregnant. But she also said that she don't know what the deal is, why they want to fight her son. A lot of celebrities have came forward and reached out, made posts and stuff and saying, hey, find this family, find this young fella. We want to fly them out to LA and let them see, that things are not supposed to be this way. And they're rallying behind this young fella. They want to buy him a set him up for Christmas and things of that nature because they want him to feel like that he was brave for his mama. Now, let me just tell y'all what's going on, and then we're going to do a whole psychological breakdown and talk about why things like this happen. Now, honey, y'all just already know the streets going to do what the streets do, right? The streets will do what the streets going to do. And I'm not saying that to advocate for violence, but baby, they already done found some of the parents, okay? And they already done jumped in some of their inboxes, and they done already threatened some of their lives, okay? And I'm just gonna leave it at that, I came across one of the text messages that they wrote to the mother because they finding them one by one. And the thing about it is, Jay and I was talking about it, and we said that if it was our child, they would not have to find me because I would bring my son or daughter before the school and have my child apologize to that mother and that son. I would not protect my children from things like this. You understand what I'm saying? Yes, I'm a protective mother, but I'm going to make my kids do the right thing, right? She said, check your phone more. I sent you the full video more. Yeah, I think the reason why the video was, thank you, Ashley, but I think the reason why they didn't want to show it because the social media sites is probably shutting it down, so I'm not going to show the whole thing either. But she said, does he have a GoFundMe? I'm not sure about that yet, Queen Love, but I'll find out for you, okay? But they have found some of the parents on this one right here. It says, hey, you the parent of one of them kids that was out there, and don't lie because I'm going to find out quick. So this person responded, bitch, you nobody. You nobody to come do something to me. You nobody to come do something to me, right? Y'all know I don't know this slang shit, right? You nobody to come do something to me. And then the person responded, where you at? It's a lot of us. We finna come beat you and your daughter ass. And then she responded, don't get SHOT, pop, pop, pow, pow. And she said, go find something safe to do. And then this person said, no, you don't get KI, okay? So they already are finding some of these mothers, some of these kids. They're finding out who they are, and they inboxing some of these mothers. Like I said, with me being a parent and my husband, we both said that we would hold our children responsible, and we would make them come forward, apologize, and we will also
as a good parent should.
People know that they are being dealt with accordingly. All right. So this person, same person that was in the inbox saying you ain't gonna do nothing to me, said I'm embarrassed as hell by that video. Stop texting me before I treat y'all. Now I don't know what that means. That's some young talk. Before I treat y'all, I'm assuming that means like before I do you, or before I get y'all, before I hurt you or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Y'all tell me in the comments, what does that mean? Y'all stop texting me before I treat y'all. Now, these are middle-aged kids and their parents, okay, talking. Now, let's talk about why things of this nature happens, all right? Now, again, let me just say this. People are upset. People are angry. She said, Amor, check your messages, please. Ooh, Vanessa, I hope it's good. All right, hold on. Let me check it, because y'all know when I get on my grind. Let me see what you done sent me. Oh yeah, but I don't want to show it because I'm assuming that the reason why they blocked it out. Thank you, Vanessa, but I'm assuming that the reason why they blocked it out is because a lot of the TikTokers blocked it out or whatnot. Because when I do show fights and things of that nature on my channel, they do get flagged. So I'm not
Yeah,
sure,
it's
'cause
gonna
I don't
get
want the video to
flagged.
get flagged. But thank you, I appreciate it though. So I appreciate it. But what was I saying? What was I saying? I can't remember what was I saying. Oh, well, I think I was talking about how they went up to the school and they want the parents held responsible. Of course, they want the kids held responsible, but when you have kids that's minors, guess who's responsible for those kids? Those parents are responsible for those kids, right? And you got to understand, kids learn this from somewhere. So whether they are living in a home where they're seeing violence and things going on, or they're just subjected to these things around the school, and the school is not doing anything about it, all right? And then not only that, these groups, these when they're in groups, they get a little tougher. Because if one or two kids was walking by themselves, they probably wouldn't have tried the little boy, right? They probably wouldn't have tried to hit him. The mama, they wouldn't have done anything, would have minded his business and walked straight home, right? But when they get in these groups, they get a little tougher. That's how it is on social media too, right? They get into these little groups, and then they chest stick out a little further. They don't know how to stand alone. They like to bully you in groups. That's just what they do, right? So, but I was sitting there thinking, like, whose responsibility is this? Yes, it is ultimately the kids. She said, just sent the video. Y'all must be a little bit behind in the video. Thank you everybody that's sending me the full video. I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna show it because I don't want my video to be flagged. But I appreciate y'all. But I do think y'all may be a little bit behind in the video. All right. So, but what causes teenagers to do things like this? What causes them to group together, lash out, show so much aggression, and have a wide disregard for other
Simple, like a
adults?
parenting. Come on, there we go.
What makes them do these things? And who does the responsibility lie on? Is it just the kids? Is it the parents? Or even the school responsibility? We have to think about that, and we have to talk about that, because these kids do need to be held responsible. But they may not be the only ones that need to be held responsible. This was walking home from school. She said out her own mouth during one of those press conferences that she had that this has been going on for 2 years, that her son has been bullied for 2 years, and she don't even know why. She said, my son doesn't bother anyone. Now, looks can be deceiving. We all know that. But just looking at this 9-year-old little fella does not look like he's one of those bullying children, right? Because if he was, in the video where we saw when they hit him, right, when he was initially hit, if he was one of those type of kids, he would have fought back, right? He would have wanted to fight back. He would have been slamming down his book bag, talking about, no, Mom, let me go, let me go, let me go. He didn't do that. He drew nearer to his mom. That told me something right there. That told me that he was non-confrontational. Now, y'all know these kids can get about it, right? And when a kid is about it, you know it. They don't care if mama around, daddy around, grandma around. They gonna be about it. This kid did not do this. This kid drew nearer to his mama. That meant he wanted no confrontation. He wanted nothing what they were trying to give him, right? So with that being said, what make a group of kids do things like this? Now I'm gonna tell you my personal belief. Sometimes when they know that you're scared, right? When a mob of people, I ain't gonna just say kids, but people think that you're scared, they bully you more. They tease you more. They threaten and try to intimidate you more. Okay? They like to do that because they feel like empowered, right? They do these group assaults because they like, oh, you're not gonna do anything. He's not gonna do anything. You know what I'm saying? Let's just beat them up. But when they do know that you about that life, like really about that life, about that energy, then they kind of leave you alone. Not saying that you should teach your children to fight, but that's why our parents always did tell us, don't come home beat up. You better fight back. But the reason why they said fight back, because they say if you fight back, these people will leave you alone, right? But if you don't fight back, and we've seen this on the internet, when a person just wants peace, don't want no drama, they saying go ahead on, I don't want no smoke with you, go ahead on. That's when it get louder. That's when all the bullying and the drama and the subbing, it gets louder because they think that you're scared. They think that you're not gonna do anything. And sometimes you just be sparing these people, like literally sparing these people. You be like, I really don't want to come spaz out on your ass because you know I can't, right? But then when the bullied person, i.e., let's just say this little boy, when he comes back and do something to defend himself, then they will want to lock him up and act like he was just some type of menace to society when he's been getting bullied for years. All right? But how does this start? How does the bullying start? First, it starts with the verbal teasing. They call it, back in the day, they used to call it janking, where they just talk about, oh, look at your clothes, look what you wearing, look what, you don't have no name brand. They start with all that, right? And then
Childish.
they start with little threats and intimidation. And then they do these social exclusions, like, oh, you can't sit with me in the lunchroom, you're not a part of our little clan. And then they start with the group assaults, okay? But they normally do it to people around their age. What would make these little bastards put hands on
Talk
a
about it,
adult?
grandma.
Now, probably one, she's not a very big person, right? She's kind of small, she's kind of short, you know what I'm saying? And she'd already said she's been sick for 5 weeks, so she probably appeared a little frail. Now, some of these kids wouldn't dare look at us, our sizes, our demeanor, our attitudes, and put their hands on us because they know we'll turn into a whole Medea on their asses. But kids size adults up just like adults size adults up. And that's what happened. They sized her up. They sized her up by her size. They sized her up by her willing to just move on and not clap back at them. Now, if she would have turned around and said something like, you little motherfuckers better leave me alone before I freaking spray all you, you know, whatever the case may be, they probably would have walked on by, right? But the fact that she just appeared like, y'all go ahead on, I'm just wanting to protect my kids, y'all just, you know, move around or whatever, that made them feel, because they were also in a little group, right, that they had some type of power. Little violent little bastards, that's what I call them, right? So, but let's also talk about kids acting out what they see at home, right? They see some of these kids that's in this little circle, they're seeing this toxicity at home, whether it's between mom and daddy, boyfriend, girlfriend, baby mama, baby daddy, mama and the other siblings, right? Whatever the dynamic is, some of these kids is watching their parents or somebody at home go through violent attacks, okay? Right? They're seeing this type of shit at home, right? They're being subjected to it. Also, they could be seeing it on social media. TikTok, all these fights, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube shorts, all these little fights. They used to have this thing called World Star, where if you got in a fight, it got recorded and then got uploaded immediately on the website, right? It was a thing. I don't even know if they still have it, but I know that at one time all the little fights went to World Star, right? So they're seeing this, and it makes them lean into this, and then it becomes their model. It becomes their
Yeah,
model. How
unfortunately.
did this get recorded? One of those persons, or two or three, in that group had video. They literally was recording this because this is the type of shit they like, and then they pass it around amongst their friends and laugh about it. Okay? That's how this shit got circulated all over the internet. Because this is funny to them. Oh, we just jumped the mom. And let me tell you something. If this would not have became worldwide, well, not worldwide, but national news, right? It would have happened again. They would have felt empowered, right? And then they would have found another mom, another parent, and their
Yeah,
child,
unfortunately,
and
you're
they
right.
would have jumped them too. This would have become a thing for them. But they didn't know it was going to get as much outcry as it has. I bet them little bastards at home now scared to freaking come outside. And
As
they
it
ain't
should
scared,
be.
right? But they did not know it was going to go around. They thought it was going to just be between their little clique. They was going to be able to laugh at it. But I guarantee you, it would have happened again. Another reason why things like this happen is lack of emotional regulation.
Yep.
Listen, middle schoolers like this, they're not fully developed. Some of them are not, right? They don't really know what's going
Hold
on.
on, hold on, hold
Again,
on.
they're acting out on what they.
I don't care. I don't care if they middle schools, high schools, or elementary kids. I don't care. These kids in particular are old enough to know right from wrong. I am not giving them no excuse in any way, shape, form, and or fashion. These kids know right from wrong. They need to be locked up, and so do the parents. End of discussion. Let's continue.
See at home, right? They don't have impulse control, long-term thinking skills, and they're not processing the consequences of their actions. Because every last one of these little bad motherfuckers could get locked up in juvenile. Now, 5 or
Lock
6
them
or
up.
7 years from now, they'll look back on this and say, shit, I didn't know this could give me a record. I didn't know this was going to follow me for the rest of my life, right? They have no idea. They're not being taught this. They're not, their parents, teachers, somebody is not telling them your actions today will affect your life tomorrow and years to come. I'm sure they did not walk home from school this day saying, I want a record. I want a juvenile record. I want to be locked up. I want street creds. Yeah, that's what I want. They're not thinking, right? They're not processing the consequences of their action. I guarantee you not one of them thought that they would even get in trouble, that they would even get caught, all right? That no punishment will come to them. I'm sure they said, all right, let's beat her ass and let's go back to school tomorrow and have a great ass day. They're not thinking about the consequences of their actions. Their parents are not thinking about the consequences of their actions. That's why it's so important that you have to talk to your children. What you do today will affect you later. When you wondering why you still got a McDonald's hat on and you 45, 49 years old and shit like that, right? Because you can't get a job with a security clearance or, some other salary paying job or whatever, right? You have to think about what did I do when I was a child? What did I do in my early stages of life? These type of things come with consequences, right? And it will follow them.
As it should.
So these middle schoolers,
As
because
it
they
should
cannot
follow.
regulate their emotions, they get angry fast. They follow the crowd, especially if they ain't getting no attention at home. They don't think
Yep.
about jail. They don't think about injuries, and they don't think about consequences. This lady is a sickle cell. I don't know if you call it donor, but she has an illness. This
Sickle cell
could
anemia.
have ended her life, or even her child life. People don't be thinking about shit like that. If your head hit the ground, your intentions may not be to harm someone, right? But how many times have we heard something like this happening? I just pushed her and she hit her head and now she's gone. Or he's gone. Something like this could have happened. This could have been very bad. They don't think about the injuries. And if something like this happened to their mama or their sister, right, or their loved one, they'll be sick to their stomach. They don't think about things like that, okay? They act out on emotions, not logical thinking. Why? Because they're just freaking little kids. They're middle aged, right? But this does not excuse their behavior. It
Hell no,
only
it don't.
explains the psychological mechanism behind it all. This does not say they get a pass because their brain, their elevators don't go all the way to the top because they still young, right? And they not thinking about the future. This doesn't excuse them. What's something else that make these kids act out like this?
Lack of parents in the home.
Peer pressure, right? These kids, they gang up in groups, one girl swing, and they probably like, oh, get a lick in, get a lick in, get a lick in. And if they don't, they ain't considered cool no more. They want to impress the next kid, all right? That's what they want to do. And they want to avoid being targeted themselves. They don't want to look like, oh, you just a little scary punk, you ain't getting no swing in. And guess what else they want to do? They want to appear tough. They want to appear tough. The little girl that took the swing that was in the beige pants, I bet you she got all the street creds. Ooh, you whacked her. You hit her good, right? And then what happened? They recorded for clout. So now everybody, I don't know the young girl name, but let's just, I'm going to call it beige pants, okay? Not everybody saying, ooh, don't mess with beige pants. Don't mess with her. She's biggity bad. And that's what they want. They want to appear tough. That's it, right there. All right? So let's talk about lack of adult accountability, all right? The young lady already came out here and said her kid has been bullied for 2 years. Now, I don't know if she's went and talked to the school. I would hope that she has, but she said for 2 years, that's a long time for your child to be going through some type of bullying. But it doesn't appear that the school did anything, all right? So lack of adult accountability from the school and also from these kids' parents. These mothers should be embarrassed. These fathers should be embarrassed.
Damn right.
These parents should have been up at the school at 8 o'clock with
Exactly.
their children. They should have been right there and said, give me the bullhorn. Let me talk. One of these kids was mine. And I just want y'all to know, I'm handling this accordingly. And if the law needs to step in and do what they have to do, I am all for it. That mother would give so much, that parent, not just mother, but the parent would get so much respect because what that parent would be saying is, I don't teach my kids to be bullies. I don't teach my kids to act like this. I don't teach my kids to put their hands on nobody. Now, we already done seen from cases that we've done here, and we've said out of our own mouth, people need to keep their hands to themselves.
Right.
But when you don't do anything about your kid keeping their hands to themselves, then guess what happens? They may have to deal with the consequences one day.
Yep.
You have to teach your kids to keep their hands to themselves. They end up being little hell raisers, right? They end up being little bullies and thinking they can get away with shit like this. And then what happens may happen. I'm just going to say that, right? What happens may happen. And then they want to
Straight up.
because they don't teach their kids to keep their motherfucking hands to themselves and respect people around them. And
Exactly.
then the same parent that didn't teach their kids proper training, keep your damn hands to yourself, stop being a damn menace to society. When they don't teach that, they be the main ones that jump in front of a damn news microphone crying about their damn child. All right? This is what happens when you have lack of adult accountability.
Oh, talk about it.
Shit like this happens, and then they cry later. Again, when Chicago came together and said, we're going to rally at this school tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, those parents, every last one of them should have came out there. Every
Exactly.
last one of them parents should have came out there. They should have been standing right there on that pavement. Do you hear me? Right there on that pavement. And they should have been like, you know what, my kid was involved, but I want y'all to know, I don't tolerate this. I do not tolerate it. I don't give a damn how old the mother is, young, old, or whatever. they should have been right there saying, I don't tolerate this. All right.
Right.
Um. Again, it says, why this event likely happened. Well, like I said, the son was already bullied. The mom confronted or defended the son. So when the mother stood in the gap and defended her son, that pissed the little angry birds off, right? The kids was already forming a bullying group. As we saw them, they would all gather together, calling her Little Shamar, talking about her ankles and things of that nature, right? And also, this was probably likely planned. They probably already decided that they was going to jump the little boy. And sometimes you say, why? Like the mother said, my son don't do anything. He's really nice to people. So why they going to jump him? Child, people jump you sometimes for you having a better jacket than them, right? Your hair looks better than theirs. You behave better than them. You have a mama and a daddy. You have lunch money. You know what I'm saying? You live in a better neighborhood. Like, it does not matter. Some of these kids get jealous of things that you or that your child has or whatever. It could be a hairstyle. It could be jeans. It could be anything. It could be just because they horrible ass little bastards, right? But I do believe that this was already planned to jump this little boy. They don't just come out one day and say, oh, let's just jump little Bobby or little Robbie. They planned this, and so, mommy just so happened to be there. She already said she crossed the street to get away from them. And they followed her across the street.
Introducing the X-Tool Apparel Printer. It's the all-in-one solution for your apparel printing needs. It prints any design on any...
It made it feel fun and acceptable. Oh yeah, let's take her down, let's take her down. They were laughing, giggling and shit or whatever. It was fun to them. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. She said she did say she kept her kids fly and that them kids was dusty and that's why they probably was mad. Yeah, and that's why I'm saying sometimes your kid could just have a better looking jacket on. And as I look at this picture, it looked like one of these little bubble jackets or whatever, So, I mean, or a book bag, and they do look dusty. Do you know what I'm saying? Them other kids do look dusty, Right? But yeah, so she probably kept her kids looking fly. They probably wanted something that the kid had, and that's what they do. And like I said, if they would have got away with this, if it wouldn't have became a national news thing, they would have done it again. They would have became these little thug-ass kids that beat up kids with their parent. It would have became a thing for them. But also a lack of authority or supervision. Now, I remember when I was younger, we had a bus stop down the street. Our mama timed us to get home. We didn't have time to just fool around on a bus stop, right? Our parents looked at the damn clock and said, the bus come at this time, y'all need to be walking through the door at this time, right? So a lot of these kids, as you saw them, they were walking home by themselves. We wasn't allowed to do that. We rode the bus, but we had to go from the bus stop straight to the house. We didn't have time to be lollygagging around and what they call it, pussyfooting around or whatever. We had to get home, right? But you see, this mother went to go walk her kids home. You ain't see no other parent out there?
No.
Them parents didn't give a damn. They're like, no, get home. Get home however you want to. We ain't seen not one more parent out there walking with their children.
Exactly.
She was the only parent that we saw in
only one
walking with her kids. That may have made them feel away. Their mama ain't coming out there and walk them home. Daddy ain't out there walking them home. They all walking in a mob. That also probably made them feel some type of way. They don't have their parents' protection to walk them home from school. So they in this little group dynamic, little bullying circle, okay? What's the bigger issue here? This is not just about kids being bad. It's about a failed system. Failed parenting, failed supervision, failed school intervention, failed conflict mediation.
Talk about it.
And a community environment where violence feels normal. Now, I don't know too much about this school. I don't live in Chicago. Y'all might say, Amore, it's a good school. Y'all might say Amore is a bad school. But for this mother to say that her child been bullied for 2 years and nothing has been done about it, I wouldn't want my child going there. I just tell you that. I would not want my child going to a school where they have to be subjected to bullying for 2 freaking years. Because mama would have been up there. I would have been a whole Medea. Been there, done that. Okay? I would have been a whole Medea. But failed parenting, failed supervision, failed school intervention, and failed conflict mediation, right? And the community where they feel that this is normal. Those kids was laughing. They're used to this shit. A big grown middle-aged child swung on a whole adult, pulled her down to the ground, stomped her, and it wasn't just a little girl, it was boys too. It was middle school boys and girls stomping on this mother. And then they went after the son, pulling him down to the ground and beating his head in the pavement too. These are thugs. These are kids that have seen this type of shit before, may have even engaged in this type of shit before, right? And then, like I said, on social media, they're finding the parents one by one, and guess how the parents are responding? I have not seen that one parent come yet and take responsibility. The parents are saying, get out of my inbox with this shit. You ain't gonna do nothing to me. You ain't gonna do a damn thing to me, right? Why? Because the parents ain't no better than the damn child. The parents are teaching this behavior to these kids, okay? But we can't say that it wasn't warning signs there. The parents, we know our children and we know what our kids are capable of. We know if our kids will get into a whole mob group of other kids and put hands on other children. We know that. You know what type of child you have. You know if your kid is going to try to break up a fight. You know if your kid is going to walk away from a fight. And you know if your kid is going to engage in a fight. Okay? Now, what should happen to these kids? Y'all tell me down below, what do y'all think should happen to the kids, to the parents, and to the school? Tell me down below, what do you think? What should happen to these children?
Jail time.
I have a whole slew of things that should happen to them. I want to know what your thoughts. What do you think should happen to these kids that thought it was okay to put
Jail
hands
time
on
should
an adult
happen. That's what that should happen.
and hit a 9-year-old all while walking home? She said charges in juvenile.
Damn right.
I say more, but that's one. I say more, but it should be mandatory juvenile charges. Assault, battery, mob actions. Because you got to understand, they both went to the hospital. The son and the mom went to the hospital. This should not be something swept up under the rug. Hell to no. Because if it does go swept up under the rug, it will happen again. Now, Glenn said Glenn said corporal punishment, supervision for half the year, suspension for half the year, and juvenile detention.
Yep.
Okay? I have to agree with my big sis. Mandatory juvenile charges. They should be charged with assault, battery, mob action. They should get expended or expelled from the school. I said expelled. This was a gang-related incident, even though they may not be gang-affiliated. But when you're in a group like this,
it was a lynching, which is gang-related under federal law.
From the school and let their parents that don't give a fuck figure it out. Let them figure out how they gonna finish the rest of the school year and where. Put them through some problems. Since they think it's gonna be problems, put them through some problems, and then guess what? Maybe they'll talk to their children and instill better discipline in their kids, okay? So mandatory juvenile charges, suspension or even expelled from the school, get your ass out of my district, court-ordered counseling or anger management for every last one of them little bastards, juvenile probation, right? Because if you do it again, you're going to get in worse trouble. They should all be on probation. No contact order with the victim whatsoever. right? And they also should be given community service so that they will truly understand the impact of their actions. They should have to do community service in the public for everybody to see. They're doing this because of their actions. Because let me tell you something. If this goes unpunished, if nothing happened to these middle-aged students or their parents, if nothing happens, their behavior will become worse. I'm telling you what I know. If nothing happens, the behavior will become worse.
It will.
That is why they have to find out. Everybody in this video needs to be identified.
Find the parent.
Not even just the ones that swung, even the ones that took the video, even the ones
Find
that
them
were
all.
behind them.
Find them all.
Every last one of those kids, every last one of them should have something happen to them. Now, I do say the assault charges, the battery charges, all that should go toward just the ones that did the swinging, right? The hitting and the putting their hands on them. But all the other ones, the community service and all of that, the suspension, that should be for all of them. Because they were there as a group. I do believe every last one of them should be held responsible, but the ones that actually threw hands and feet should be the ones that receive the juvenile charges and the probation. But the other ones, at the very minimum, should have community service and should have to go through some type of court-ordered counseling. Because I'm telling you, if nothing happened, this will be a repeat incident. She said if the mother was strong enough to fight back, I guarantee the other parents would have fresh charges on her. Exactly.
Yep.
Because if the mother, if it would have been one of us, and if we would have took a stick and went across one of them kids' head, the mother would be so damn outraged on here crying for her goddamn badass, bastard ass child.
Sure hell would.
You could have came and got me. Why did you hit my child upside the head? You could have came and got me, right? The mother would have been outraged.
Man, fuck them kids.
If this mother would have hit one of them kids back. If this mother would have drugged little khaki pants, right? What do we call her? Beige pants. If she would have drugged beige pants by her hair all through the dirt, right? Scuffed up her damn ankles and shit, her knees, that mother would have been outraged.
It was 3 o'clock. Okay.
She would have been the first one on the microphone, screaming and yelling that her kid got beat up by an adult.
Straight up.
But yet, none of these parents have came forward and said, yes, it was my child. My child is the one that touched this mother that wasn't doing nothing but protecting her kids. Nothing but walking her kids home. So the kids, even though that they are minors, they still made a choice and they must face age-appropriate legal and school consequences.
Facts.
Every last one of them.
Facts.
The parents.
Facts.
When a child repeatedly bullies someone, assaults someone, or participate in group violence,
Taste the envy of the yogurt aisle.
God dang it. Hold on. Come on. Come on, come on. Here we go.
And you know, I do know it was a time when parents were responsible. When your child was under 18 and did something wrong, I don't know if they still do this, but I know it was a time when the parents was held reliable.
Exactly.
They was held accountable for what your child did. I do believe that if this has been a repeated thing, if any of those kids has been involved in any type of bullying in the past, the parents should be held legal accountable for negligence. Negligence to supervise your badass child. All right? The parents should be involved in the mandatory mandatory counseling with their damn kids. Make them go
Facts.
through anger management as well. Make them complete parenting classes as well. Okay? Now, in the state of Illinois, because this did happen in Chicago, it says that Illinois law can hold parents financially liable for the child's actions.
As they
Now, I
should.
haven't heard anything yet as far as a lawsuit, and they probably don't have much, but I would definitely file a lawsuit. Let the family figure this shit out. Let these parents figure it out. But yes, all her medical bills, I don't care if she have insurance or not, these parents should have to pay it. They should have to go and pick up extra hours so they can think about teaching their kids how to act properly. And they should be held reliable to pay for her injuries, to pay for her son's injuries. And all three of them right there in this photo need counseling. So these parents should have to pay for their counseling as well. They should be held responsible. All right? Children who commit violence usually come from an environment with no structure, no
Yeah.
discipline, and no emotional guidance. The responsibility starts where?
At the damn house.
The responsibility don't start at school. It don't start in your church. It starts at home. We as parents are responsible for instilling discipline into our children. Right from wrong. Keep your hands to yourself. I don't know how many times I can say that. Keep your hands to yourself. It is our responsibility as parents to instill that into our children before we send them out to anywhere. The responsibility starts at home. So the parents should be held responsible. Let's talk about this school for a minute, okay? The school administration.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure the school didn't like the news folks being out there. They had news people out there. They had the police out there guarding it and everything. I'm sure they didn't like that. No school liked that type of publicity, right? But if the child had a history of bullying, which it was reported in this case, we heard out her own mouth, she said, my child been going through this for 2 years, then that means the school failed to intervene, right?
What it
The
sound
school
like to
failed
me.
to enforce safety at dismissal. Now, they normally have like a guard out there to help the kids cross the street and things of that nature, you know? They normally do. I don't know how far away from the school this incident happened, but they normally have like guards placed here, placed there, whatever. I know they do in good neighborhoods, and they say, okay, the kids can cross the street here, the kids can cross the street there. I didn't see any of that. Now, I'm not saying that they did, I just said I didn't see it, all right? So they failed to enforce safety at dismissal, okay? The school ignored the warning signs. If they mobbed up like this and went after a child after the school, I'm sure during school, some of these kids are walking around in these little groups, okay? The schools are responsible for student safety, proper supervision, and they are responsible to respond to repeated bullying complaints. Now again, I don't know if this mother complained. She already said she's been sick for 5 weeks, so she may not have. But I would think over 2 years that she's went into the school and said something, okay? All right? The school is responsible for preventing the escalation of these types of things. And if the school brushed off any complaints, then that means they played a role, which means
So
that they
hell
should be held
did.
reliable as well. As well. All right? What could these kids be possibly charged with? Now, again, these are middle-aged kids. They're not even, we will never find out the kid's name, well, not by the news. Now, social media, y'all know how they get down. We may find out the kid's name by social media, but they will not mention the name in the news. Why? Because they protect the youth like that, right?
Yeah.
But what are some of the things
That's
they
the
could be
news.
charged with? Battery, aggravated battery if they were
Assault.
severe, right? Mob action, because this was a gang-related incident.
Yep.
Even though
Mob
they may not have
activity,
no
aka
affiliation,
lynching.
the fact that it was done in a group setting is considered mob action, disorderly conduct, and assault. These type of charges could carry on with these kids, right? Can carry them They could be 30, 40 years old, trying to go get a job,
I'll
trying
be
to get
back in
into
a
some
few
type of
minutes, y'all.
program, school, become a doctor, become a lawyer, become something great, and then these juvenile charges will hit them in the face. Now, I do believe, I think
So
if you're a
well.
juvenile, I think like once you turn 18 or whatever, they kind of seal your record or something like that. I think. All right? I think that's what they do. But if not, these charges will follow them for a lifetime. And if they don't change their behavior, it's only going to spill over into their adulthood any damn way. Okay? But juvenile court do focus on rehabilitation because they are young, because they don't all have it together right now, because they wasn't thinking about the future and things of that nature, right? But middle-aged kids, these middle-aged kids fighting a whole adult, I'm telling you, if nothing is done, this will get worse. Absolute worse. Now, again, I'm not sure if the mother is taking legal actions. I'm going to say she should, right? And the daddy came out and spoke to. He was just as outraged, and I would be too. Now, the wrong parent that this could happen to would have handled it a lot different. So it may be a good thing that this mother didn't have the strength. It may be a good thing that she didn't fight back because it could have turned ugly. This could have been ugly. Very much ugly. Look at this little girl. She look as big as the mother. Look at her. She rears her hand back to swing on her mom. And the kids do look decent. I'm looking at her kids, got nice jacket on, nice shoes, nice book bag, right? And then you got this little monster right here, trying to swing on somebody. Let me read some of y'all comments. She said the white people of Chicago would not have done this horrible crime to that mother. I can't agree to that, but you know, we see what we watch, but I cannot agree to that. The school probably did contact the parents, but look how they responded when someone did say something. And that's what I'm saying. I did see comments where she's like, oh, you know, come pull up on me. You don't want nothing. What did she say? I'm going to do to you? Did she say I'm going to spread you or something like that? She said, I'm going to check your inbox. It was a statement made from the security guard. He's upset. All right, hold on. Let me check my inbox right quick. So it was a security guard out there? Hold on. Because I damn sure didn't see no security guard, but let me check. Let me see. Hold on. I don't see no message from you. Hold on. You said check my inbox? Hold on. Oh. Is this verified? Alright, hold on. Let me bring it up forward. I don't know how verified this is, but I'm going to read it and just go from there. Where'd you get this information from? I don't know how verified this is, but let's put it up. I hope it's verified. Y'all, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I don't know how verified this is. I know some people like to just jump on bandwagons, but let's read it, okay? It's a post from Kenneth Griffin. It says, when I started the meeting, I told everyone this is an intimate space, and out of respect for the family and the kids, do not record or go live while we are in this meeting. A certain person decided his clout was bigger than the trauma that the family and kids had just experienced and went live anyway, showing the faces of the mother and her kids along with other people who were there. I'm going to say this respectfully because I don't believe in giving clout to certain people. I'm not going to say his name. Just go find one on the Facebook Live with me literally saying no recording. I haven't arrested anyone in probably over a year. I don't care if we cool buddies or associates. I will personally take you And if I find out you are back on the school property causing disruptions, I will sacrifice any sense of being cool with you if it means protecting the innocence of victims. Oh, okay, so it must be, that's why he took that video down, that guy? Because when I went to the guy's page, because he had a video up and of them at the school, and he must have removed it. So he must be talking about this Ombre Anderson guy.
Okay.
So he must be talking about this guy because he did have a video up right before I came on because I wanted to show it to y'all.
Mm-hmm.
And now the video is gone. So let's put it up right quick. She said, yeah, that's why also he took the video down. And the video was 2 hours. I wasn't going to show the whole 2 hours anyway. So this fellow right here, you guys, was, of course, this is the girl, the lady that it happened to. And this is the kid's father. Now, I don't know if this is the son father or the female father, but this is one of the kids' father. I want to say it might be the son father because he was, feeling away about his son being attacked, okay? Well, his child being attacked. So I'm just going to say it must be the son father. I'm not sure. Yeah, so it was a video, and they must have took it down on this page because it was a 2-hour video, and I don't see it no more. So it must have came down, but he was recording the different events of what was happening. So this is the guy that he must have told, I don't know. I guess he's trying to say he won't clout or something. She said, yeah, Dreadhead Cowboy. Oh, that's what his name is, Dreadhead Cowboy? Oh, all right. So I don't know him. I just saw it on his page, and I saw that he was keeping up with a lot of the information. She said, oh, he must be talking about that guy with the dreads. Yeah. Yeah, he did have a video up. Now, this right here came from, y'all know I'll be doing all these rappers' names and stuff or whatever, but it's Lil Zayo Sama or whatever. I don't know. I don't know who this is, but he looks like a rapper. But he says, can somebody tag the family and let them know that I'm looking for him? I saw that video of the mom and her kids getting jumped. As a dad with kids that age, that hit different. That ain't Chicago. I need that young man in the video to know that what happened to him and his mom ain't normal. To whoever that kid is, me and my foundation got Christmas money for you. I want to fly you and your family to LA for a weekend, take y'all to dinner, and show you that you got real support. You deserve better. I've seen crazy stuff in this city, but I don't want you to think that's all there is. We got your back. This is bigger than me. This is a call to action for the whole city. This was a devastating event. I'm starting it off by donating so he can shop for his mom and himself, okay? Now, I think this might be some rapper or whatever. She said Chicago rapper. Okay. So Chicago rapper then stood up and wants to fly the young fella.
Wanted $1,000 weight loss medication for $50? It all starts with Rose Free Insurance Check. Just upload your insurance card to see if you have coverage. Then relax. We fight for you so you can get the lowest price possible. Did we mention it was free to check? Over 100,000 people have qualified for a $50 copay through Roe. Are you next? Start with your free insurance check at roe.co/YouTube.
On his son, and just to to know that this is not a normal thing. She said, read my message. Where is it at, Deidre? Let me see. You may have to write it again, Deidre. Oh, here you go. Amor, I just saw online that the community moved her out of her place today. They moved who out of their place today? The mother? Well, that's good. They put her in a better place, hopefully. They moved her out. Was she in a bad area or something? Like, I don't really know this part of Chicago or whatever. I don't know if that's a bad area. Miss Fee, is that considered a bad area? She said things is kids been doing this. They just filmed it this time. Yeah. Oh, so the same kids been doing it or just different kids, Miss Fee? They moved her out of the neighborhood today. Okay, that's good. That's a blessing. It is. That's definitely good. Yeah, because they probably would have tried to target her again. You know, she said the boy stayed near the same apartment complex area. Oh, so that's they rallied together. Now I'm gonna tell you. Now the video that he did take down, it did show camaraderie. Those people stepped. Chicago, y'all showed out today. Y'all did. Y'all stepped up to the plate. Y'all moved in quickly, and y'all wasn't having it. Even before the video was removed, it was people up there saying, yeah, we want justice, and yeah, no, we want the parents held accountable. They was literally asking for the parents. They were literally looking for the mama and the daddies of these children. They were definitely outraged. Okay, definitely outraged for what occurred yesterday with this mother. She said, I swear I'm proud of my city. Yeah, your city definitely stepped up. Definitely stepped up. They was not playing that bullshit.
Hell no, they weren't playing.
They definitely stepped up. Oh, thank you so much, Rita. She said, great live and more. You can talk about any subject. Thank you so much, baby. I appreciate that. I do. Yes, the city of Chicago, let me tell you something. As a matter of fact, one lady said it on TikTok. She said, I'm so goddamn proud of my city. Let's see if I can get to that one right quick. She said, I'm so proud. Hold on. Let me put it on mute while I find it. Hold on 1 second. She said, I'm so proud of my city today. Now, it got a lot of cussing in it, but she said what she said. This one right here. She said, hold on, let's hear this one. She was so passionate about it. I think she moved out of Chicago, and she said this made her want to move back to Chicago. How y'all came forward today, baby. She said, y'all came forward. She said, is the mother pregnant? No. The lady came out and said she was not pregnant. But y'all take a listen to this. Oh, hold on. Let's take it off mute.
Hey, I love Chicago.
Is from Chicago, but she no longer lives there. She said Chicago came out and showed out. They said they was going to be there at 8 o'clock, and they was there at 8 o'clock. And she said they came with their MF and belts, okay? Yeah, she was mad. She said they came, some of the mothers came up there with their belts, okay? Came up there with their belts. Yeah, she big mad. She mad. She said she wished she still lived in Chicago. Now, one thing she got it wrong, the lady did look a little pregnant, but she did say in the hospital that she is not pregnant, so she's not pregnant. But she does have sickle cell, right? And she's dealing with a sickle cell crisis right now. She said, Amor, did you see them walking home, DEP, walking home deep? Are you saying walking home deep? Did you see them walking home DEP? What does that mean? Like the kids? What do you mean? She said, I pray she gets through her current illness, sickle cell episodes. It is so dangerous. Yes, I pray she does too. She said they opened a blessing for her. Yes, if they moved her out of that neighborhood, yes, so she don't have to deal with that. Put her in a district where she don't have to, oh, Jesus, I hate to say this. My people. She said, I feel this. I was definitely ready to hop in my car and be on that with them raggedy ass kids. Yeah, Camille, when I seen it, my whole soul dropped. Everything just started rushing through my head, like what I would have done. Because I was like, damn, I would have been in jail for a whole weekend fucking with them kids. You know what I'm saying? Because I probably would have swung on one of the little children, or 2 or 3 or 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? They probably would have beat my ass, but someone would have got hit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, someone would have got hit. She said, all our people calling for the National Guard are a disgrace. Well, always looking for others to fix our issues. No, get your asses in the community. Take it back, period. Yeah, that's true. I do believe that more people need to get in the community. And with that even said, I was even thinking myself, I was like, you know what? I could be a voice in the community for real, right? Like, I was literally thinking about that. Like, man, I should become an advocate of the community, I have been seriously thinking about it. I never really got involved in this type of stuff. I always kind of stayed in the suburbs and out of the way. But I'm like, damn, I mean, I ain't from Houston, but I'm sure Houston got their own set of problems just like this. But this young lady said she's from Chicago, but she moved away from Chicago. But she said she was so proud of people in Chicago today because, baby, when I tell you, I wish I could show y'all. Let me see if I can show y'all a video of them out there, because baby, they was out there. Oh, here goes some of them. Let me see about this one. Hold on. So this is just one mother talking. It says Chicago rapper Mino, God's child mother Nisha, among others, are upset. Families and community members gathered at the Chicago. Oh shoot, let me go back to it. Gathered at the Chicago elementary school. They are demanding the kids that attacked the mother and her two kids to be held accountable. So they are demanding that the school hold them accountable. Oh yeah, so here's one. Here's some of the footage of the mom. The mother is still out there. Looks like she just got out of the hospital. She still have on slippers, y'all. She is out there in this cold weather with slippers on, you know? Thank you, Judge. Appreciate you. She does look frail. She looks frail, and let me just fast forward to where she actually started talking, because they was yelling a lot.
Thankful for everybody that came out with justice and justice.
This is how we come together.
You can't hardly hear her because, you know, everybody wants a mic or whatever the case may be, so she didn't really get to say much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it was more the community talking. She didn't get to say much.
Did y'all hear me? Oh, okay, Nick. Let me tell you this. I just saw that video of the lady who was walking her kids home from school. Her two kids, mind you, she's pregnant too, and they
See, she got pregnant.
Now, had that lady put hands and feet on the kids, y'all would think she was wrong.
Exactly.
Y'all even saying, well, why didn't you fight for your kids?
Exactly.
The kids was pounding the lady down to the ground, stomping her out. On top of that, they was dragging her son, snatching him down by his coat hoodie, dragging him by his boots, and even pulled the little girl hair out. What did y'all think she was going to be able to do without...
See, I did not know they pulled a little girl hair. Good Lord. I don't know if that's verifiable information, but pulled a little girl hair? Damn.
all those kids ganging on her? And this lady is battling a sickness, and it's given that she's very weak. She couldn't fight off them kids if she...
Oh, let me read this. It says, I am so drained. Wait a minute. I am so drained and emotional. I had to watch my son get slammed to the ground while they were banging my son's head into the concrete. He was trying to get to me because I was getting jumped. He was terrified, and so was my daughter. And the little boy pulled my youngest baby hair. She was hollering and crying. Do y'all know I was so hurt I couldn't get to my kids? I feel like I failed my kids, but I also didn't want to put my hands on a minor. It's definitely a law, y'all. I'm sitting here crying. I can still hear the cries of my kids saying, Mommy, help me. I'm hurt. I'm scared. My kids did not want to go home. My mama had to come get them. Yo, I'm so hurt. And for all you people on this app claiming I was scary and bogus for not helping my kids, how could I when they had me on the ground stumping me out? And then they involved my daughter. A 12-year-old boy pulled my 6-year-old daughter hair. No, I am not okay.
Now that's an effing bully,
A
bro.
12-year-old boy.
On a 6-year-old?
He said a 12-year-old boy pulled my daughter.
See, now that's pussy. I'm sorry.
A 12-year-old boy.
So they switch up?
He old enough to face some damn juvenile charges.
Damn right.
He old
Put
enough
his
to
ass
face
in
some
juvie.
juvenile charges. 12-year-old boy pulled her daughter's hair. Make that make any sense? Make that
Put
make
that
any
little
type of sense.
bastard in
A 12-year
Jew.
old boy.
Little
Now, if somebody come
bastard.
by and do something to that little boy, look at her. She's holding her son is hugging her. She's holding on to her son, but she's trying to protect, you know? She did what she could. And see, they stopped it. But they drug her to the ground. More people start, trying to tag her. That's crazy, yo. So everybody named Mama talking about it today. And that's why I said she looked pregnant, but she wasn't pregnant. It just, maybe she just, had some bloating going on or whatever the case may be. She said, I cried when I read that. Yes, Miss Fee, that's crazy. She said these kids are going to be traumatized, and they are. And
They
that's why
are.
I feel like the parents should have to pay for these kids' counseling. But I'm glad they moved her out of the neighborhood. Let them little thugs stay in that damn neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? Let them stay over there and deal with that bullshit. You know? She said one of the mamas made a Facebook post. I just texted to you. Oh Lord, one of the mamas. Let's see.
Let me see if I saw this one
All
already.
right, let's see what the mama had the nerve to say. Let's put it up, baby. Oh, okay. All right, mama, come through. Do what you're supposed to do, mama. Do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're supposed to do, mama. That's what you're supposed to do. Hold on. One of the mamas got sense. She said, just know. Her name is Tisha Stevenson. She said, just know, I apologize for my son's actions, and I know he was wrong, and I put BTA, by the way. What BTA stands for? BTA, because I don't play with, belt to ass. Okay, my bad. Let me start over, y'all. Y'all know these acronyms, honey. I'm 53, y'all. Old. She said, just know I apologize for my son's actions, and I know he was wrong, and I put belt to ass because I don't play with my kids. Everybody has made mistakes as a kid, and I'm not the perfect parent, but I'm a trying parent that shows up every day. I can't control what I can't see. Once again, I apologize, all right? Hat goes out to this mother because that's exactly what I would do. She said it's a hostile apology. I don't think it's a hostile apology. She said she put belt to ass to him, okay? So I feel like she should apologize. And he still should be held accountable.
Damn
I
right.
still should take him down there and ask the police what you want to do. Because I will make my
Take his ass to the police.
I would make
Exactly.
my son point out every last one of them kids I'll make my son say, who else was with you? He'd be a damn snitch. You hear me? Who else was with you? She said, I sent you more videos. Okay. Who else was with you? He'll have to be the damn snitch. All right, let me see what you sent me. Ooh, girl, child, you sent me a hell of a lot of stuff. Can I play this? Let me see.
I know I've been.
So you must have got it.
I know I've been here for an hour and a half. I'm actually gonna see what more comes out this evening. Originally, I had something else that I was gonna put up on both of these channels, but I decided to do this cause this here needs to be talked about. Um, to the parents of these children, y'all failed. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Y'all failed because if y'all raise these children right, these children will never thought about doing any of this bullshit. I'm just saying. May the kids get charged. May the parents get charged. With that being said, see y'all later. Peace.